Hello, everybody. It's awesome to see you today. And I am back here again for another week to share with you the market, the big mistake in the market concept and the market idea. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm speaking to you as a consumer. You are all consumers out there, and some of you may be sellers or maybe buyers, or you were. But I'm speaking to the consumers, not the real estate agents. They can listen, but I want to talk to the consumer because we have an industry in real estate that is fun and exciting. However, I understand when it's your real estate, when it's your family, when it is your parents' home and they have transitioned. These are huge, important things. And so I'm coming to you today as a master's level adult educator. Yes, I happen to have real estate licenses in multiple states. And yes, I'm certified internationally, all this stuff. But I'm going to speak to you from the seat of the United States of America as a interesting person with 22 years experience in real estate. This is what I'm going to do today. I want to point out to you something really important because the whole industry of real estate is complex now. It used to be complex, but right now it's very complex because we have great big huge changes legally. We have changes within companies and things and that. And what I care about so much as a teacher is the consumer. This was supposed to be easier and more clear for you. So I'm going to start showing you some kind of insight highlights that I share sometimes on LinkedIn of, did you understand this? Did you see that? Because it's really helpful for you. So again, what I'm interested in is being an educator for you, not salesy. Old style sales, right? I'm an educator. I'm a guide. I'm a consultant if you need it. So here we go. What I want to point out to you today, it's a big aha. And that is the fact that, have any of you started to think about, over all the decades we have shared with you, market snapshots, sold homes, this and that? Did you catch on that a generalist is driving the bus in your personal sale, purchase, or sale? It's true. So what you get fed as a consumer is this idea of, what's the market snapshot? That's what you should be doing. Well, I'm sorry, because I don't live with so-and-so and they don't own this asset that we have and have put in or not put in what they did or did not. Here's what I want to say to you. We already hopefully understand, and thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you. I can see you filling in here. We are in a situation where we've been conditioned on an old system that needs to stop, or you at least need to be smarter and brighter. That's where I'm here to help you, smarter and brighter. So here's what we're going to look at, right? We understand for the most part, hopefully, that the real estate market is not the same all across the United States and certainly internationally. Hello, Jonathan. Jonathan's popping in, and Jonathan is actually originally from Naples. So I always give huge kudos to Jonathan. Thank you for showing up. I am talking about your good Naples today, but also whole United States and internationally. So thank you. And he is a good, huge supporter of me on LinkedIn. So thank you, Jonathan. This is what I want to point out to you. And people may or may not get mad at me about it, but I sit here as an educator and like an intuitive thinker. We are trying to explain to you that, oh gosh, this is what the statistics look like in your state. How can that possibly be your individual real estate? It can't possibly, right? You got bulked in the junk of the stuff. And then we said, average prices, but guess what? The millions are in there and the littles are in there. And when we look at your neighborhood, right? And so we look at your neighborhood, let's say Jonathan, because he's here, and your parents respectfully in Naples have a home that they're ready to transition for your estate. We care a lot about Jonathan. I do. And it matters. So that piece or sale is not a, let's just throw that one out, or let's take whatever we can get for it. It matters that that home belongs to Jonathan and his family, right? The other pieces that we look at when we look at the market, do you not see that we can drive artificially, ding, 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 artificially, we can drive where we say, oh, the prices are going like this here. Oh, they're doing that there. And who is explaining it to me? And even statistics, who is explaining it to me? That can make a huge difference. And it can make a huge difference on your asset. So what I want to help you understand today in this beautiful conversation, we'll continue it on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're with me, is this. Real estate is a very dynamic, super evolving. I can tell you at 22 years, it's more complicated than it was 22 years ago, for sure. Here's the important part. Your specific house matters. What did you put into it? Here's a great idea. Zillow Zestimates, right? Zestimates. You all consumers got all talked into the Zestimates. You got all drunk love into the Zestimates. And you decided, oh gosh, look what my house is worth. Oh gosh, look what my house is worth. May I tell you that no one from Zestimates has been in your house to see that you've not remodeled the kitchen since 1970? Or next to you, they just put in $500,000 worth of whatever, which is too much for the neighborhood, right? But everybody was kind of gone on to this thing of, oh, I can get a Zestimate real easy. I don't need an agent. I don't need that's the stuff we need to kind of wake you up about. That when we're talking about in the news and in data feeds and also snapshots of real estate within a neighborhood, a state, a municipality, or a country, we can talk you into whatever you think is going on. I've never done that. I've never driven that because I've always intuitively felt that's a high concern. What should be happening both on the seller part, and then I'll separately go to the buyer, is on the seller part, right? We are looking at what exactly do you have here? Has it been remodeled or not remodeled? Some of them have been maintained beautifully. Others of them, my gosh, have you been here since the 80s? These are the things that matter in terms of what's the quality of the home that you are selling. And then the other thing that's happening for buyers right now, they are hearing these market snapshots and they're thinking everything's on a fire sale. Well, I can tell you, even if it's in Wisconsin, even if it's in Florida, particularly Naples, where I happen to be at the minute, everything is not on a fire sale. I can guarantee you. And then consumers, buyers in the marketplace get this idea of everything is for 2 cents. I can just go offend that seller by putting in that something without really talking to anybody much. That doesn't work well. The big thing that we should be talking about all the time, and I don't hear it enough, even in 22 years, is every individual house is different. Just because Bob sold his doesn't mean you get to strong arm Sue. So she lets go of her house for Felicia at whatever price you say. That's not real estate. That's not actually real estate. And the other piece that we need to take a look at in terms of the market, when you're looking at a market snapshot, which makes no sense. Consumer, come with me, like on the inside tight part. There were thousands of corporate homes that got let go in that huge last bulk of sold houses in certain areas. That's different. Those were not individual sellers that were letting go of their property of ownership to somebody else or whatever. It was a line item on a sheet that they wrote off or didn't write off, whatever good or bad it went. But that plunk or splash huge into the marketplace of you dumping all those corporate whatevers there, that super affected my neighbor next door. And then you come by her, and is that fair to her? Not really, not certainly actually. It's not. So this old antiquated idea of everything has to be done with market driven and all of those kind of things is actually kind of asinine when you, the public, get out there to negotiate, to have assistance for somebody to help you. First of all, let's back up. And I would say, let's take a look at exactly where are you interested and what is happening with that particular maybe neighborhood, but absolutely that seller, right? Because we can highly offend and blow a deal that you could have been happy in 20, 30 years, for 20, 30 years, or you could have perhaps made money if that was the point and the seller wanted to, right? So part of mine wanting me to go, hang on a second, let's just have a little time out and talk about this a little bit, is this idea of, do you not see the whole stupid picture? Real estate is not driven in group sales. Real estate on an individual home or condo purchase or new construction is not driven on a whole crowd mentality group sale. And yet that's how everything's been sold and educated to you to this point. It shouldn't be happening at all. So what we also need to have happen, which is exciting and good, is those real estate agents and other people, or you educating yourself, are deciding, I'm going to learn some of these things, right? I'm going to learn how to approach and what is the right good situation for me. What should I be saying or not saying, right, at this time? The snapshot is like this much of it. Because guess what? If I have a house I really, really want, even if I have all the money for it, it's no big deal. I might not be able to come to agreement with that seller because they're emotional about their sale, right? They may want to sell it, or they said they'd sell it for that amount, but they're going, hey, wait a second, like my dad lived here and I can't because whatever reason may or may not be fair housing. These are the pieces that need to matter in terms of what are you actually doing right now. For tremendous homes, this has always been the case in the big mistakes in the market. The shiny homes, the good homes, the ones that are in great shape, have good appeal, are presented well, have a great professional working with them or more than one, they always sell. They always do well. So it's not every single house in that particular situation, right? Shiny pennies always do well. The other thing that happens is every tire kicker buyer is not right for a situation, correct? And I say to you on both sides, this, you can talk all you want to about the deal you'd like to have or what you think is happening actually in the marketplace right now. And it would depend, right, on that exact seller and this particular buyer at this time, given each of their particular circumstances and abilities. I'm not a lawyer, but that's pretty good for a teacher. That's what it really always comes down to. So I have had people calling lately, right, that will say, oh my gosh, I think everything's a fire sale, so I want to offer them 2 cents for this thing. Let me explain something to you. If I am the listing agent, my responsibility at that time is to the seller. It is not to let somebody highly offend them, somebody into their property, obviously, that's not qualified or things like that. That's part of our responsibility as listing agents. Our job is to educate the public fairly, right? Without coercion, without, here's the stats, but the stats are backwards because I kind of, but who cares? Could you sign there? I'd love it. This is the part that needs to get so much better for consumers out in the marketplace. And that is, yes, you can look at snapshots. Yes, that's important. The other pieces that are important are, what exactly are you trying to do right now? Because I would also say to buyers right now, this is a great time for buyers to come out. In so many locations throughout the United States, there hasn't been a better time in the last 5 years for buyers. What is best really is a balanced market. When it's really seller high, you end up with lawsuits. You're thrilled seller for the minute and all that stuff, but you end up with lawsuits. If it goes the other way, that it's a total buyer's market, end up in the opposite, same not fabulous position, right? It's really best when it's a balanced market between buyers and sellers. When we really have great information going to consumers, when we have agents who are professional to be able to say to them. So you'll never hear me say as an agent, nor have I in 22 years, well, here's the average price, so that I think this is where we should go. Because the average guy is not selling this particular asset. These individuals, 1 or 2 or 7, are selling that. And that's the part that we need to pay attention to. These are the things that matter when you're taking a look at, do I want to be doing something in real estate right now or do I not? So let's get a little bit deeper and further into some good, exciting things. You may be somebody who would love to buy something. Well, here's a heads up. Real estate is not just financial. Real estate is also highly emotional, particularly when it's residential. A lot of people like to pretend it's not. Give me a break. I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I've been doing this 22 years. Residential real estate is emotional. So here's the thing. Somebody may not even care that your price is the highest on the block. I want your house because I can see us having birthday parties here. I want this house because I can see my mother can come in here without me having to carry assist to get her into this space. All of those things can be so emotional that I go, no, that exact ocean view, it's not even the financial part. I'll pay more because back in the day, I had this experience with my mom here. These things happen. And so a lot of times people or consumers in the marketplace are looking at these snapshots and all these kind of things. Real estate is also highly emotional. It's okay. We have all these different layers that we're moving through in when somebody is selling and somebody is buying. That person selling may have big, huge lifetime experiences in that home. They have the sale they have to do, but they also have to do, what should I do with my pieces and my things? None of that has to do with market. None of that has to do with market. You also see some incredible things on the commercial side as well, right? So you see, oh my gosh, it's a phenomenal time. People with private money call me. Seriously. There are a lot of different projects that need and want to be funded by private money. And at the same time, if you look at certain snapshots, you'll see people say, oh, we're not lending private money right now. That's so not true. The whole point of this broadcast and the mistakes in market view and snapshots are go find your right commercial project. And then, gosh, these guys over here want to fund something like that. They just didn't see you on the market because you're sitting hearing, oh, everybody's a frog out there. Don't put your project in the marketplace. Well, we're hunters. Give me your projects. I know some money, right? And we go figure out, how do we do a matchmaking service of what does this person need? What does this person need? I'm speaking to you from Naples, Florida, because I can also work exactly here, but I'm licensed in Wisconsin. Like I said, I can refer to my 88,000 teammates all over the United States and globally. So you don't have to talk to 12 agents deciding, who do we trust, Sherry? We want you to stay on the deal. There are so many different ways to be able to do real estate. And the biggest thing I wanted to catch consumers' minds about today, particularly if you're actively selling or buying, but if you're thinking about it, and then just for awareness for the general consumer, question differently. Wake up your mind. Just because they're telling you this stat or number, or I would like you to drop every 2 weeks, excuse me, who do you think you are? Writing in a contract to tell me every 2 weeks I have to drop a price based on, I'm sorry. There's old tactics in the marketplace is a big part of my point that don't serve the consumer, really. They didn't necessarily. These are the things that we need consumers to open up and care about. I know you get into the marketplace and I understand, hey, I'm hiring a professional. She or he should know exactly what they're doing and whatever. I can't tell you how many consumers right now are wanting to say, absolutely, please don't ask me to, I've hired you. Please make the decisions. Please do the things. This is so complicated now. You cannot absolutely be in that position right now at all. You have to be involved. You have to educate yourself. You have to know what is going on because it's important for most people. This is the biggest legal or financial thing they'll do in a lifetime, or maybe twice. It's really, really important. And then you can see when we go into a sales position, as you might call it, gosh, that brokerage explained it to me like that. Well, this brokerage explained it to me like that. What I understand is there's a huge need for consumers to be able to call and consult somebody that may not ever have a chance to get their business. Mhm. Yep. So one of the things I'm also starting to do is do consultations on Tuesday. And you can sign up for that through my website or send me a direct message. It is $100 for up to an hour. I am not trying to sell you anything. I am sitting as a master's level adult educator, understanding the industry and all of these things as a generalist when I'm in that kind of consulting for you. Today, I have somebody who's down here from Chicago. He is a very high level individual. He's in the Naples area, and he said, Sherry, where I'm exactly at, which is fifth, which gets marketed to you like it's the preem, which it is. I mean, it's great, but he doesn't like it. He's like, Sherry, it's a little too, okay. So he's interested in me consulting, not even yet to the place of, should we go try to buy something for him? I know what it feels like to be down here for the first time. You don't know streets, you don't know people, you don't know what location might I like. And people are making millions of dollars of decisions flying in here and listening to whoever salesy talked them into something. And they go, I hate it, Sherry. I'm all the way out in Timbuktu. Or lovely, but there's not a soul around in the neighborhood I'm in. Oh, you cared more about what's the year-round numbers within your development. These are the kind of things that are needed in the marketplace. These are the kind of things that are needed more for me to be able to explain as an agent that often you don't get to see when I'm giving you short, funny social media comments and things like that. These pieces matter because when people are moving, they are making huge decisions, both emotionally, financially, all of those kind of things. The part I want to encourage consumers about is go to those places where you can get an education right now because it's really big and important. I am so happy to do it. I will stay on here weekly with different topics for you. You can reach out to me at any time on LinkedIn. Of course, you can connect with me direct there. On YouTube, there's a community function. So you will also be able to, as I also put out shorts and things like that, make comments, ask questions, post even within my community of real estate and life on YouTube. And also, of course, can reach out to me anytime. Biggest thing I want you to take away today, do you not see how we can make the entire market of real estate float up or down based on what we're telling you consumers? The market's up, the market's down. Oh, your neighborhood's like this, you've got a crowd sales are not real estate. For the seller, hugely important, right? It depends on that particular seller. What is the situation? How much do they have in there? And then on the buyer side, let me encourage you. Buyers, you've been sitting since September, honestly. Here's my comment about that. Lots of people need and want a home in different locations and things like that. Every single day, somebody buys and sells real estate. Every single day. That's what we do. Buyers, do not be sitting because right now there could be your perfect emotional home you've ever dreamed of. Also, there could be that piece that is in whatever state you really always wanted to have a chance at and you didn't. What I see buyers doing right now is they're sitting, and what you're going to do, buyers, is you're going to miss the whole market. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. And in different locations, the market's different, right? Up in the north, winter tends to be a little bit more slow but serious. The serious buyers are out. Down here in a resort second home, which I'm certified in, community, people think the summer's super slow. That house will be there. Watch. People come down for very serious purchasing in the summer so that they're set by the fall during season. These are the things you need to listen to more than the sales shtick kind of stuff about real estate or agents trying to sell you stuff. You need to get in the know, learn what's moving, what's changing. But this whole idea of driving the bus by a market snapshot or a national snapshot, do you see the holes? And do you also see the opportunity to be smarter and better and different? Again, I invite you to contact me if you have any questions about real estate, because again, I have teammates all over the place we can help with, both residentially and commercially. I appreciate you in joining me today. I'm going to do these little teeny insights. I'm going to do interesting topics. I'll do plain boring education. I'll do locations, and I'll do US and global. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an awesome day.